So today we're going to talk about abs. So as you can see, I'm in my kitchen and there's a reason for that. You may have heard the saying that abs are built in the kitchen or abs are made in the kitchen. And I kind of disagree with that. So abs are revealed in the kitchen, but they're actually built in the gym. If your body fat isn't low enough, your abs aren't going to show. So how to get that down is through a calorie deficit. And I made a video about that, so that is key. There's no way getting around that. You can't choose where to lose fat. Like waist trainers or detoxes or stuff like that, total doesn't work. Drinking apple cider vinegar or cayenne pepper with lemon, again, doesn't matter, doesn't do anything. What matters is being a calorie deficit. So let's just leave it at that. And usually the case is where you put on fat the first, that's where you lose it the last. And for a lot of guys, that will be around the midsection. But if it is the case that your body fat is low enough, I'm going to show you some stuff that you can do in the gym. So when we talk about the core, it has a lot of functions. It mainly protects the spine. It has a lot of functions. It helps you brace, it helps you twist, it helps you do all these stuff. And all those things are great. But when we talk about abs, it's usually two things. It is the rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack, the muscle that goes from here to here. And it is usually the obliques, which is the muscle that goes here from the side. So those together is usually what we mean when we talk about abs. So you want to treat the abs like you would any other muscle. So the rep ranges you do should reflect that. So let's say you can do a crunch, you can do 10 easily, you can probably do 20, maybe even 30. And that's maybe your workout. But would you really do 20 or 30 reps of a bench press? No, you probably would put it in the 8 to 10 rep range because you want to build your chest. So the same thing should be applied with your abs. You want to go heavy to make them grow, to make them pop. So I'm going to show you some of the moves that I like to do where I can add on the weight to my ab moves. So if you look at the move here, just a regular crunch. Again, this probably is too easy for you. So what you can do is grab a barbell or any type of weight and hold on to that as you do your crunches. And try to not put the weight in front of you. Try to push it straight to the ceiling. So again, you choose the weight so you can do a rep range of between 8 to 10. Another move which may look a little strange, but that I like to do, is basically you're doing standing crunches in a double cable machine. I'm working my abs by crunching them forward. And in this move, it's really important to try and push your hips forward so you work your abs, not your hip flexors. You can also do a crunch in a cable machine like this. Usually it's performed with a rope. When I was filming this video, all the ropes were taken, so I just used a different handle. Again, I'm crunching forward, adding the weight, making the move very heavy. Here we have another standing ab crunch, this time in an assisted pull-up or dip machine. Same thing here, try to push your hips forward as you do the move so you work your abs, not your hip flexors. So you're probably already doing a plank, which is great. The main thing in the plank is to make sure that your back is not arched. You actually want a rounded back. But again, if you can hold this for 30 seconds or even a minute, it's time to make this harder. So what you then can do is make a long lever plank by either pushing your hands forward or your legs back and holding it here. Again, trying to keep a rounded back. To work the obliques, you may have already done side bends. Here I'm using a plate just because I think it's easier that the weight doesn't get in the way. So I want a big stretch at the bottom and crunch all the way to the side. I can also do a similar move in an assisted pull-up or dip machine. So here, instead of pulling the weight upwards, I'm pushing it down by using the obliques. And a version of this is doing the same thing but in a cable machine. So again, those three moves really do work the same thing. So really choose the option that works best for you. So I hope you liked that video. I hope you found it helpful. And again, you don't have to do all these moves. And really, you shouldn't do all these moves because if you've seen in a previous video on the workout splits, dedicating a full workout to core really isn't optimal unless you're working out a lot. So I would say with these moves, try them all out, but choose one or two or three that you like the most and stick to those. We all are built differently, we all feel things in different ways, so a move that might work good for me may not work for someone else. I might feel it really much in my abs, while someone else just feels it in their hip flexors. Change the move, find something that works for you, and hopefully that'll give you the results. So please like this video, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.